Hey everybody, so we're back here with Filigree Racing. Today we're going to go over how to install stainless braided brake lines. Now these lines are made by HEL. We're working on becoming a vendor for them, so hopefully you'll be seeing them soon on our website. But what makes these ones nice is they go through, they shrink wrap the ferrule, they give you a little shrink wrap that you can put wherever, they shrink wrap it again. But this right here, the fitting is actually a swivel, which makes it nice because then you're not binding it, you're making it nice and clean. They actually go through and they make all of these fittings in-house on their CNC machine. But they also make a little plastic circlip, that way they fasten via the OEM setup. But they're actually a pretty nice line. I'm excited to hopefully be offering them soon. But we're going to go ahead and show you how to install them now. So let's get going. Okay, so we're in here to the front brakes right here. Now you'll notice we actually already have our line undone. It's been off for a while. We rebuilt the brakes, all that good stuff. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and take this piece here off of your main line. That is a 10mm flare. You don't want to use a regular wrench because they're likely to round those off. So you're going to want to use a flare nut style like this. And you want to go ahead and get that removed. Once that's removed, then there's this clip right here that it sits right here. And you're going to want to take a screwdriver, pry that clip off. That pops the circlip out. And then on this side, there's this here that it's all screwed in together. You're going to want to go ahead and get that undone to be able to pop this side off. This right here actually uses crush washers. So you want to make sure that you replace those when you go to put it on new ones. So since we've already got it done, we're going to go ahead and get things taken care of. When you go to put it back on, what you want to do is I generally start at this side to make sure that it's all going to go in nice and neat. You're going to want to take your nut, put a crush washer on it, thread it through, and then throw on another crush washer. At that point, it's a nice, simple screw it in. Now this side here on this particular car is a 14mm. So we just kind of snug it up. Don't want to go too tight on it. And then make sure that your circlip is going to go in place. That fits in there. And then that goes on right there. Now, I'm going to pop that off because that looks like I actually need to shave it down so that it'll fit, but that doesn't affect the rest of it. So you want to go ahead, get that positioned. Now you're ready to pop this side in. You want to be careful because Mazda actually goes through and uses a particular style. You'll notice that it has all corners, and then this one is actually smoothed out. So that is your one that you pop up and through. That piece right there goes on the front side. There we go. Okay, that pops the circlip in. Now at this point, we're gonna go ahead and pop our piece off. That's been keeping it from wanting to bleed out since we had it apart for so long. On this piece here, you want to make sure that you do not cross thread it. Sometimes they're kind of a pain to get started, like now. So that's tightened up. Should be good. Now, on these types of fittings here and here, you don't want to go too tight. They only need 8 to 10 foot-pounds, which is really not a lot. A lot of people want to over tighten them. A lot of people want to crank them down, so on and so forth. You really do not need to crank them down. You only want to go as tight as you have to go as far as getting it to seal. Any tighter and you're basically ruining the flare on it. So just be watchful of that. With it tightened up, this is kind of where I usually spray with brake cleaner. You want to get it nice and clean. The reason being is you want to know if there's a leak when you go to bleed the brakes. So go ahead and dry it all off. Make sure it's all clean. Make sure that if you have a leak, you can see it. So, right there's pretty clean. That right there should be tight enough for now. And then this side's done. So let's go ahead and jump to the other side. We'll get it done. And then we'll jump to the back and show you how to do the back. Okay, so now we're at the back. This is basically just more of the same thing that we've already been doing, where you're going to want to go ahead and undo this here along with this right here, and then you just swap out the line. So this up here is a 10 millimeter. Remember to use a flare nut. Now, while we're back here, you'll notice that this line doesn't run real smooth and through it. That's because this line here does not run a swivel on it. Oh, that one's a different size. Okay. So this one here just kind of breaks loose. Now, on the back, because of everything, we want to go ahead and put something underneath it, because this line is actually full. On the front, we had it already pretty much removed, so it really wasn't a big deal. And this line here is now fully off. Set that in there. Now you're going to want to grab your bolt, your crush washer, along with your line, and again another crush washer. Now you just kind of thread it in. Now on this side up here, you have Mazda's fitting that goes a specific way. Pop that in. Put your clip in. And then lastly, you go ahead and start threading this in. That goes ahead, that cleans up that. You want to, again, wipe everything down. Again, I use brake cleaner to kind of take all the brake residue off, anything that dripped, anything that fell. You want it as dry as possible. So that you can see the leaks. But that sums up this side. Now we just got to move over to the other side and do the same thing on that side. All right, so that wraps up the HEL stainless brake kit. Now, as all we needed was a hammer, 14, 12, flare nut, a regular 10, and a little 1/4 inch ratchet. Now, at this point, you're gonna wanna go ahead and you're gonna wanna bleed the brakes. We're not gonna do that in this video. We'll have a completely separate video on how to bleed the brakes, but you wanna go ahead and bleed the brakes. You want to start at the furthest from the master. Now ours, our master cylinder's right here, but we actually have an ABS module that's over here. And so our actual furthest one is going to be our driver's side rear, and then we go to our passenger side rear, then we do our front drivers, then our passenger front. But that sums up that install. Like I said, we're going to be offering these on our website. I feel like they are a good solid product. They definitely have some nice features, such as that swivel circlip to attach it. That way that there's no bind. I kind of showed you on mine where it's kind of bound and it's kind of crooked and stuff, and it doesn't lay nice and neat. Now these, because that is a swivel on the circlip, then it actually lays nice and neat. It's not binding, putting extra strain on that brake line. So that goes ahead, that wraps up that.